Morning, welcome back to Forever United TV and welcome back to your morning update. The 29th of August. We expected a lot to happen in the last week of the window, and it is happening. Last night we brought you the bombshells, the breaking news, which was here we go on Garnacho, and pretty much again, which we'll have confirmed today for Rasmus Højlund. But late last night, if you are just waking up and haven't seen the news, it is official. Kobbie Mainoo has asked Manchester United to leave the football club and go on loan before this transfer window closes. David Ornstein broke the news last night. He has gone into the offices with his agents at Manchester United and requested a loan move away from the football club. It is a massive bombshell for all at Manchester United, staff-wise, I'm sure. Ruben Amorim, coaches, the fans, everybody looking in. Like, it is a... We've always heard the news and the talk about Kobbie Mainoo, and we've always heard that there might be a chance. He's not happy, but you never really believe it. And then Ornstein drops something like this, and you're like, oh my God, yeah, this is actually really happening now. What's going on with Manchester United? Why are we in such a mess? We're 3 games into a season and it just looks like complete and utter chaos at this football club. It looks like there is nothing at the moment working. The players don't want to be there. The players are not fighting for the manager. There are so many conversations we've had in just the last 2 nights alone, 2 days, over what's happened at the Grimsby game, going into that game, what we're seeing with certain decisions from Ruben Amorim. The fan base is at a complete loggerhead. Like, it is like everyone's having their own opinions and everyone's got their own views on things. Nobody's right, realistically. There's no one way of fixing what's going on at Manchester United. But someone at this football club has to start standing up and making big decisions. And we've said this all along. To be where we are now with only 3 days left of the transfer window, and to be here in this position and be in such a mess, it goes to show, doesn't it, like how bad things are at Manchester United behind the scenes. And we were led to believe that everything was good. Ruben Amorim coming out saying that the atmosphere is great, players coming out, interviews in America, it's all great in the sunny weather and sunny climate when the football doesn't count. And we said in pre-season, didn't we? Like, let's see what happens when the Premier League starts. No one's getting carried away with pre-season. And my God, were we right again? And did we know our own club? I think that's what we'll say about Manchester United right now. The fan base, I think, isn't being... well, they're not confused. They're not having the wool pulled over their eyes. They're not being convinced by words coming out of Manchester United. I think everybody knows, if you're a Manchester United supporter, where this club is at. And you always needed a lot more proof than a pre-season tour in America and some new players coming through the door to be convinced that Manchester United had turned the corner. We said all along everything was good, and we judged the summer for what it was. We judged the summer for what was happening in it, and we wanted to see the big proof, the main proof, which was obviously coming back to the Premier League. Now, let's get into the Kobbie Mainoo story itself, and then we're going to do it. We've got a poll running right now. Is Kobbie Mainoo right to ask for a loan away from Manchester United? So get voting on that poll, please. I'm going to open this up to the comment section very, very soon. But just to give you some clarity on what happened, David Ornstein came out and dropped this last night, and everybody was shocked. And then here's what Fabrizio Romano had to say on what exactly happened at Manchester United with Kobbie Mainoo yesterday.
Kobbie Mainoo went to Manchester United offices together with his agent and said directly to Manchester United, I want to leave on loan. It's important, this, on loan. No permanent deal. Kobbie Mainoo doesn't want to leave Manchester United on a permanent transfer. Kobbie Mainoo doesn't want to leave the project. Kobbie Mainoo still loves the club, but it's a World Cup season. He's a young player, a fantastic talent, a gem, but a young player. And he wants to play. He needs to play. He wants to develop. No Champions League football, no Europa League football, no Conference football. Also, no EFL Cup for Manchester United, eliminated by Grimsby Town last night. And so Kobbie Mainoo only has one competition plus the FA Cup starting in the second half of the season. So for Kobbie Mainoo to leave Manchester United is a priority now. Kobbie told Manchester United about his intention to go on loan.
So let's break down what Romano actually said there. Some key points in what he said, alongside what David Ornstein also said. So obviously, because Romano comes out and does his videos, he will talk about it. We've not got anything from Ornstein, just a tweet and what he's wrote in the Athletic, but it's pretty much on the same level. He went into Manchester United with his agents and asked to be let go on loan. Manchester United came back and said straight away, no, You are not going on loan. We don't want to sell you. You are a part of this football club and we want to keep you here this season. You are a very important player and will feature a lot. But Romano there, and the way that Romano's talking, and I'm in the middle with this. I've got my own opinion because I think back to the Kobbie Mainoo contract situation and everything like that. So you have to break this down from both sides. Do we feel like Kobbie Mainoo is right in asking to lead the football club? When you put the argument across of Bruno Fernandes being moved into his position where he's going to play for Ruben Amorim, and 210s being brought in to replace Bruno Fernandes, then you can see why Kobbie Mainoo will be upset, and you can see why Kobbie Mainoo is probably asking Manchester United to be moved away. My big point with this is, it's like, why was this not sorted in the summer? Why was this not a big part of organising what was going to happen going forward? Why has it taken till now, 3 games into a season, for this to happen? It's left Manchester United in a seriously awkward situation right now. And yes, Kobbie has come out after what he's seen and made a big decision. I think, could there have been any sort of influence from the likes of Garnacho, his friends, and a few players leaving the club that he gets on well with? Maybe, yes. Players talk, agents talk. But what Romano says there is fully talking through Kobbie Mainoo's agent. He needs to make this clear. It's only a loan. So in our time of need, Kobbie Mainoo wants to think about his minutes and not fight for his place in the side. That's another side of this, because that's what's being put across here. And we have to always remember, where the player feels like he's hard done to as well, he's at Manchester United. And he obviously is never going to walk into a side. The argument that you've got against that is Ruben Amorim and Bruno Fernandes. And that's where Kobbie probably wins on that side of things. I get that. I 100% get it. But there will be people out there thinking and just balancing this out and trying to make a proper debate out of this. Kobbie Mainoo, with 3 days left of the transfer window, goes to Manchester United, 4 days, sorry, goes to Manchester United and says, I want to leave on loan. But I don't want to leave Manchester United. And Romano there, and this is why I'm fully convinced that this is his agent that's telling Romano this. The club's not going to say this, I don't think. He's a young player. He's a young player that wants to get minutes. He's still in development. He's not got many competitions this season because he wants to play for England. He wants to be part of the World Cup. He wants to be right at the forefront of what's happening this summer. I get it. Every player would do. But Romano going on there saying he's not got European football. He's now not got the EFL Cup. Come on, mate. Like, you were part of that team that got beat by Grimsby. Let's have a bit of perspective here and actually break it down as it is. We're not having that one, so you can sling you up with the EFL Cup side of things. You played as well in that game, and like every player on the pitch for Manchester United in that shirt, failed the football club. So let's get it right. Take some accountability for what actually happened here. Kobbie Mainoo saying that he's still developing, yet he still wants 180 grand a week wages. You've got to bring that into it as well. He thinks he's made it at Manchester United, but now all of a sudden, because he's not getting minutes, he wants to... Is jump ship the right word? Some people will jump down my throat at saying that because they love Kobbie. I love him. I'm just looking at this as a United fan right now, and I'm angry. I'm really upset about how this football club has got itself in this mess. It's the players' fault, it's the club's fault, it's everybody's fault right now. But again, I think this club has allowed players to build this attitude to what's right at this football club when it's really not. Kobbie Mainoo saying he wants to now leave Manchester United because of the start of the season, not willing to fight for his position because it's Bruno Fernandes. I get it. And I would feel like I wouldn't have a chance of playing in that side if Bruno was there, because he never gets dropped. And that's on the manager, Ruben Amorim. And we'll come to that in a minute and his part to play in this. But when you look at this as well, and you look at Kobbie Mainoo as a player, we love him and we think he's great. But let's not forget in all of this as well, and this is where I want to break it down and then leave it to you to have your say on this. I'm going to come to the comments on this. So Kobbie wants to leave now because he doesn't feel he's going to get minutes. He's still developing, apparently. Manchester United, don't forget, I've told him no on this contract. So this is where I feel Manchester United are at right now with this. They want Kobbie to fight for his place in the side. You could say that Kobbie has said, I don't want to fight for my place in the side because I feel I should be in the side. And that's wrong. But then again, Bruno Fernandes having 2 replacements brought in this summer for him and then moved into Kobbie's position, I can kind of get the argument from Kobbie and saying, well, now you've put Bruno there who's the captain who's never going to be dropped and I'm never going to play. So there's two sides to this all the way along. And then you've got the argument on top of that, where you just look at the player in general. Is he as good as what everybody's saying he is? So looking into the stats, so I'm looking for this, and I've always backed myself up with what I've said, and I always do my research, as you all know. So last season, Kobbie Mainoo, in the moaning and everything that was happening with Garnacho not getting certain minutes, a lot of people brought up Kobbie Mainoo not getting minutes. He played 34 minutes in the final for Manchester United against Spurs. Kobbie Mainoo was a part of Manchester United's worst ever Premier League season. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. And also on top of that, you've got Rasmus Højlund, who's on 75 grand a week, not asking for a new contract, who is willing to stay at Manchester United and fight for his place in the side. Competition is not a problem for me, even though United have just bought a striker for £73 million, who's going to play ahead of him, quite clearly. He still wants to stay. So you could argue a character against another, in that Rasmus is really showing what it should be mentality-wise to be a Manchester United player, and Kobbie Mainoo is bolting, basically. But that's another argument that you could have all day long. There's so many different ways of looking at it. But Kobbie as a player at Manchester United, let's look at where he's at. He's 2 seasons in, of which he's only played 70-odd games. And I say only 70-odd games because that equates to what? Not even playing every game in a Premier League season, let alone Champions League, let alone Europa League, all the other cup competitions which United have gone far in. So 70-plus games. Does a player who has only just come onto the scene after 2 years warrant this stance of moving from Manchester United because he's not going to get game times, not going to get games and minutes? Well, last season, Kobbie Mainoo started in the Premier League 19 games. Kobbie Mainoo started in 19 games last season for Manchester United. Manchester United won 4 of them games that Kobbie Mainoo started. So are we bigging up a player here more than what he actually is? Kobbie Mainoo was a part of the problem. You could talk about everyone's issue here. Ten Hag's, Ruben Amorim's, some of the players, Garnacho's, other players. But because Kobbie Mainoo has been quiet behind the scenes, nobody's really picked up on this either. Is Kobbie Mainoo the right man for Manchester United midfield? And then you could argue against Kobbie on that. But what I will also do in defence of Kobbie Mainoo is, if Kobbie Mainoo was a problem last season and his performances didn't add up for Manchester United, and Ruben started him a lot last season. So there's no precedent, there's no history of him not playing Kobbie Mainoo. He has given him ample opportunities. Let's not forget, he missed a third of the season through injury as well. So again, when arguing about that contract and where he should be and what rights he's got to be in this side, I kind of quash that and shut it down. I'm like, Kobbie, get in line, go and fight for your place. But if Kobbie Mainoo wasn't doing it last season like I've picked up on, and if I've picked up on it, then all the statisticians, oh, that's an hard word for me to say, and everybody at United, data analysis and all of that, why are they not picking up on this and going out with the recruitment team and buying a midfielder that is going to work in Manchester United's side, rather than buying replacements for Bruno, and then popping Bruno into Kobbie's position and causing this whole stink with 4 days left of the transfer window? All rolled into one, and summarising from my point of view, this club is in an absolute mess. And it's all over the place. I'm fuming as a Manchester United fan right now. I see the arguments for every single side of this, but it all comes down to bleeding management from this football club, and what the hell are they going to do now? Because on top of this, you've got the threat of Ruben Amorim now walking. He has got players here, academy players, that don't want to play for him. Kobbie Mainoo saying he wants to go on loan, for me, is telling me he wants Ruben Amorim out. Because he does, I know that sounds a bit harsh, that, so it's not, he doesn't want Ruben Amorim out. He just wants more opportunities himself. But when you think about it deep down, if he comes back off loan, there's probably a good chance Ruben's not going to be there. And where I think that there is some sort of selfishness in this, a player's career is short and he only wants to look after himself and get the minutes that he wants. He is part of the team, but right now as a fan, how are we supposed to feel? We've got another player that just wants to ditch us because they're not happy with the manager. Do we just get rid of Ruben Amorim because the players are not happy with how he's managing it? It is a absolute crap storm right now at Manchester United. I honestly feel like this weekend some big decision needs to be made at this football club, whether it be Kobbie leaving and Manchester United going out and finding the midfielder, or Ruben Amorim walking from this football club. This basically, I feel, is for me, where we're at right now, I don't know. I don't know what we do. What's the right decision, everybody? What is the right decision? Kobbie came on the 86th minute on the final. Adam, it says on the stats, mate, doesn't matter, to be honest. Kobbie came on the 87th minute of the final, and Adam, you need to up your game in your research, as Kobbie has not demanded 180 grand, and you keep spreading this, turning people on here against him. Complete and utter bollocks, Gary. Sorry, mate. I'm going to have to shut you down with that one, mate. Why? The Athletic reported yesterday that he wants 200 grand. So who are you going to believe? There's your research, mates. Oh, yeah. And on Transfer Market, it says that he had 37 minutes. I just read that off. But really, if you want to look at that point and then not the rest of the stats that are brought up, which are more relevant because it's a whole season in United's worst ever season, Gary, go ahead, mate, honestly. But don't come on here and try and shut me down for poor stats. Come on, mate. You're going to have to do a little bit more yourself. If you wasn't watching yesterday, that's not my fault. But the Athletic writ in their article that Kobbie Mainoo actually wanted 200 grand a week. 20 times what he's on. 10 times what he's on now. It's not my words, mate. I'm just saying what's in the news. So, yes, Kobbie Mainoo played just 2 minutes of Man United's defeat. So, yeah, the transfer market was wrong. I think you got mixed up with Garnacho and the other player. Apologies on that side of things, everybody. But, Gary, seriously, to hold that against me, mate, come on, you got to do better than that. But, look, I'm not spreading anything against Kobbie Mainoo here. I think I've fairly laid out every single fact that there is in this situation here. And I'm now going to come to the comment section to see what you all think. Gary, I just disagree with you, mate. Sorry on that one, bud. But I think I've been very, very fair there. And I've just read out what's actually there. Facts are facts. Stats are stats. I got one of them wrong. Apologies for that. But still, did he warrant a place in the final off the back of them performances throughout the season? Come on. Let's be honest with ourselves here, shall we? Manny says, the lad is thinking World Cup, but he's nowhere near good enough at the moment for that squad. This reeks of Garnacho and Rashford in his ear. Deny his request. This is going to divide so much opinion, this one, on Kobbie Mainoo. I knew this was coming. By the way, welcome to the Members Club breaking news. Thank you very much for that, buddy. Robbie says, what is it with young players today? I know. This is agents driving things in a certain direction, I feel. I think this is agents running the game. And I've always had a problem with agents. I've always had a problem with them telling players one thing, it should be this way. And this causes so many problems. And I think it is his agent that's causing this problem again. It is. I'm not just saying that because of the news and he's just walked into Carrington with his agent. Of course he's going to walk in with representation. That's a given. But he's the one who's telling him that he should be demanding or wanting 180 to 200 grand a week, as per the Athletic reporting. And that, I think, again, if you want more than Ahmad, you want more than Lenny Yoro, you have to be questioning yourself, right, okay, am I good enough? And I've just laid out stats there. In games that Kobbie Mainoo has started this season, in the midfield where everyone's saying he should be playing this season instead of Bruno Fernandes, he has failed. He has failed this club, like every other player. Not just him, every other player. So get in line, is what I say. Fight for your place. I understand the Bruno Fernandes argument. That's on the club, which is why I want to bring Ruben Amorim into this debate in a moment's time, because maybe he is the big problem here, not Kobbie Mainoo. That's what we've got to decide amongst ourselves right now. We're fans and we need to look at this and go, do we back a manager like we have been saying? Have these players all of a sudden started to get too big for their boots? Is Player FC still there in full force at Manchester United? Like I said, we were led to believe off conversations with players, interviews on MUTV and everything at this football club in the summer that it was great. Everyone was happy. Everyone was buzzing and ready for the season. 3 games in, it's absolute chaos at Manchester United. Kobbie feels he's better than he is, and that's partly our fault. He's been gassed up. He's good, but he's raw. Nothing more. Time for common sense now, please. This is the point. Like, do we gas them up? Are we bigging up these players more than what they are? Hi Adam and everyone. Kobbie is most probably going to run to Ten Hag in Germany on loan. Bloody hell, says Lee Cape Town. Block with another super chat says, it will get worse, Adam. We can blame the players, the manager and the board, but we all know what the real problem is. Greedy owners. Yeah, they did start the rot, and it's hard to fix it. As much work is being done to put Manchester United back into a proper football structure, it is hard to actually get past what actually happened with the Glazers and how far they have taken this football club backwards. It is hard to to overcome that, and I think that's what we're fighting against at this football club on a daily now. Euro is the perfect comparison in this scenario. I mean, Euro was brought in, and he's playing football, and he's competing against some of the best, I think, in our team. Leacher, Harry Maguire, De Ligt. You've got competition from Luke Shaw, who's come back in now, who's fighting for his place. You just have to do more. Yoro's a teenager as well. Are we saying that he is not developed yet? So Yoro's younger than Kobbie Mainoo and featuring in games, and he's competing against more players, really. You could argue that it's one position, and Amorim, which I've said could be the bigger problem in this. And I want everyone just to remember, I have said, could it be Amorim that is the problem? If he doesn't play Kobbie with Bruno Fernandes, why not do that? Why not put that in? Oh yeah, he did. In the second half against Grimsby. And United all of a sudden managed to score 2 goals and get themselves back in the game. I know it was still crap, but Bruno came back on and United played better with Bruno and Kobbie Mainoo in their side. Maybe there is a chance that that could prevail through the season. Right there, you would see, and Kobbie was nowhere near the worst player against Grimsby. He was probably up there as one of our better players, in my opinion anyway, against Grimsby, but he's still part of the team. But Bruno and Kobbie worked together in that second half because we did what we should have done in the first, which is completely batter Grimsby. Still embarrassing and still an absolute disgrace, but in the second half, it was better. I know I'm really clutching at a lot of straws there, I am, but you still got to look at it that way. Could that now actually move in? Like, Kobbie's played that full game there against Grimsby. Bruno's come on and done better together. If I'm Kobbie Mainoo, I'm thinking, right, I've played the full game. And now the manager's seen that I can work with Bruno Fernandes. I'm fighting Casemiro, which is a better fight. I'm fighting Ugarte, which is a miles better bet for Kobbie Mainoo in this. Only problem is, he now doesn't want to be the number 6, and Ruben's got to make a decision. The shape and everything else that comes into the question here, Ruben is a big, big problem for Kobbie Mainoo. We know this, and there is going to be plenty of fans that are arguing Kobbie's case against Ruben Amorim, and vice versa. I think a lot of fans are fed up with the fact that players are having too much of a say. I think a lot of fans are fed up with the fact that certain players are playing week in, week out. I do believe that Ruben is getting it wrong with Bruno. And this is where I defend Kobbie Mainoo. I said this at the start. I do believe that Ruben's got this one wrong. And the hierarchy and Manchester United are at fault for this. They've put Kobbie in a position where he feels he has to make a decision. I get that. But I still feel like Kobbie should really just look at himself and go, do I warrant kicking up this kind of stink? I've not played enough games yet. I've not done well enough in the games I've played yet. I'm 20 years old, yes. Should I be demanding getting into this England side? No. I know you've had a taste of it, and obviously once you've had a taste of it, these players get it in their head that they should always be there. There are plenty of players in this country who are fighting for a place in that England side that won't make it, and Kobbie is part of them. He's part of them players. He's one of them. Now, again, just to throw another angle on this, you could say the likes of, say for instance, Jack Grealish as an example at City. Grealish knows he's not going to get game time at City, has got the little move away to Everton, and now is fighting for his place in the England squad. Now he's got game time at Everton. That's what Kobbie's probably looking at and going, I need to do that now. I understand that totally. I do. I get it. I completely get that, and I think that's probably what he's thinking right now. But then in my head, I'm thinking as a United fan, and this is selfishly me thinking as a United fan, heaven forbid, paying thousands of pounds like we do as fans to watch Manchester United every year, would think that the players should have a little bit of loyalty. In my head, I'm thinking Kobbie Mainoo's thinking of England ahead of the start of this season, really, ahead of this full Premier League season. And you know from what Romano said there, that's full words from his agent. We're now out of the EFL Cup. We haven't got Europe. I'm sorry, but weren't you part of that Manchester United side last season that was failing? And did you play the whole game against Grimsby? Like, yeah, not to want to pick out one player like Kobbie in this, but come on, mate, it's a team. And for you to come out and then use that against United through your agents, mind, yes, and that'll be the agent talking. Kobbie's being represented by his agent, so he has to take that on the chin as well. He's going to take some flack for this, I feel. But even now, like, looking at the poll, I think the poll on the show this morning tells us exactly where this fan base is at. Fed up, sick to the back teeth of what's going on at Manchester United. Do you think Kobbie Mainoo is right to want to go out on loan? 71% of you have said yes. I think that's down to the Ruben factor. I really do. I think that's where we're at with it. A few more comments before we move on with the news. We've got plenty to get through this morning. Keno would tear Kobbie a new one, says Robert. He would. Keno is definitely not the man you need to ask a question on this one about. Zane is in the chat, as always. Thank you for the super chat, Zane. Mainoo should join Arsenal and unlock his true potential. How will you cope with Eza when you come to the Emirates? We're a million miles away from playing Arsenal. It's a completely irrelevant comment, Zane, but thanks for the super chat, mate. Thanks for rubbing it in again. Brian with the super chat also says, Kobbie got 0 game time this season with no midweek football. Him going on loan will increase his value, so makes sense for us. This is on the club and Amorim for foreseeing the Bruno issue. Brian there saying what I just said completely. That is one argument that you cannot really disagree with. Makes sense for him, but not for us. Manchester United now, according to Indy Kelly, are desperately on the hunt for a midfielder. I think this could actually happen. Now, the way I look at this is Manchester United reportedly looking for another midfielder is they have told Kobbie Mainoo no, but are they really going to keep a player that doesn't want to be there? Kobbie's made his feelings clear. He wants out of United. That's it. Right, decision made. Let's try and move past this now. Convincing this player who doesn't want to be here after having a full pre-season with Ruben Amorim and everything that's been said, only 3 games in, he's played 1 full game of them 3 games and has decided he wants out. Can we really stop Kobbie Mainoo from going? Should we be stopping Kobbie Mainoo from going? I would say no. Look, if a player wants to move away and doesn't want to play for Manchester United this season, but wants to come back in time, again, that still winds me up, but that's the fan in me, obviously. Then United need to be going out and finding another midfielder to replace Kobbie Mainoo right now. They need to be in the market. And Indy Kelly has come out with the news last night that internally at Manchester United, where certain things have been said about Manchester United not wanting Kobbie to go, Manchester United are now out and looking and desperately trying to seek down a midfielder. I feel so sorry for Ruben Amorim that he's going to have to answer them questions in the press conference today. Oh my God. Honestly, he's caused his own problems with some of his decisions, Ruben. But that press conference today, off the back of what Samuel Lucas was saying last night, slamming Manchester United off the sale of Garnacho, serial underachievers when it comes to selling players, even though he's the 4th highest sold player in Manchester United's history, still going in on that one. Like, honestly, I do not want to be Ruben Amorim today. He has got a storm coming his way in that press conference. Poor man. But like we just said, you're Manchester United manager, and you with this recruitment team this summer have made very, very good signings, but you have caused a problem in doing so by not letting Bruno Fernandes go. And the vision that Ruben's got of Bruno Fernandes and these new signings in is not working for other players. So should we really be complaining if Kobbie Mainoo wants out of Manchester United? A lot of people would say yes, some would say no, fight for your place. You got no God-given right to be in that Man United shirt off the back of 2 of our worst ever Premier League seasons in the club's history. You see, if United were winning games, this wouldn't even be a conversation. I said it before. When everything's going wrong on the pitch, everything goes disaster mode off the pitch. When we're winning on it, no one cares. It's right now, if Man United had won their first 3 games, for instance, I know, far cry, but if we'd won our first 3 games, no one would be talking about Kobbie Mainoo wanting to leave. They'd be like, go on then. That's how it would be. I guarantee it, that's how it would be. And we wouldn't want him to leave, obviously. We want him to stay, but could Kobbie Mainoo have a complaint if United were winning games without him in the side? No. Manchester United have underperformed this season and Kobbie Mainoo's been missing for 2 of them games, so he's got a little bit of an argument as it right now. James, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. That is amazing. Glenn with another chat says, have you seen Lucker's tweets this morning? Oh, I'm going to bring that up right now. Let's bring in the other news right now, everybody, as well. Samuel Lucker's tweet this morning. Let's see. I've not seen it. I was seeing last night. During the semi-final first leg at Athletic Bilbao in the Manchester United players' family section, Garnacho and Mainoo were the only ones whose agents weren't present. A deal is struck for one to leave on the same day that the other makes it clear he wants to leave. Conspiracy theories flying around everywhere now, it would seem, around Manchester United and the media world. And again, like I just said, God help Ruben Amorim in his press conference today. But again, I think what Samuel Luckhurst is getting at there is, look at what is happening right now to Manchester United. Look at what we're developing. I got in trouble with the club for doing a video on the academy and what's happening. I think I highlighted a big problem at the football club. And when these academy players get to the first team, things don't tend to work out. And some of our brightest and most promising prospects from our academy are just bolting and leaving this football club. We've got something wrong at Manchester United somewhere here, and it's just not working. Also, 15 clubs from across the globe have already made contact with Manchester United over Kobbie Mainoo. In fact, El Nazar approached Mainoo about a loan to Saudi Pro League in the last 24 hours. Several European clubs also on alert late in this window for the opportunity. That from Ben Jacobs as well. Now, Romano said that there were several clubs in for Kobbie Mainoo. It's time for Manchester United to make a decision here. It's going to be a tough old weekend for Ruben Amorim. And the showdown talks that are happening after Burnley, maybe the showdown talks are about several different things. I actually feel if Ruben Amorim walks, Kobbie stays. I actually believe that, because I think someone else will come in and change this team and change the way that Manchester United are setting up. And then all of the plans, all the ideas that Ineos have put in play, I'm not saying they're necessarily right out the window, because they're buying players here that are quality, and any manager should be able to use these players. And like it's always been said, you will always get another manager coming in and being able to work with players that are recruited properly. And I think Manchester United under Ineos are not just looking at Ruben players. They're making calls here from the hierarchy to bring players in that can work in the future in several different systems. And that has been reported throughout the summer as well. So I'm not saying that this is actually a point of going back to the drawing board again with Ruben Amorim, because we've now obviously got rid of him. I feel like we have got a situation here where if another manager comes in, I think automatically with the team that we've now got, we will get a bounce. We will. I'm just glad that Garnacho is gone and that deal is now finalised, so he cannot come back into this side if Ruben leaves. I'm just happy that one's done. I really am. And I look at anybody else coming in right now, and I think you would automatically get a new bounce out of this. I do. As we said last night as well, just to keep you updated on everything else, Rasmus Højlund now is ready to get on the plane today. Romano said 2 days ago the deal was completed, just finalising somewhat on the players' side, but this is a here we go as well. We reported this last night on the double here we go. United about to bring in 80 million for Rasmus and Garnacho. But the big story obviously is the Mainoo one, and Manchester United now looking for a replacement. United need to find somebody to come in for Kobbie Mainoo. If Ruben is staying, if Ruben is going to stand this out and actually commit to Manchester United and this season ahead and not walk away, then we need to get a midfielder in ASAP. And that's the main story going around this morning as well. Now, it's like, do we get a replacement in? If Bruno is going to play. And you know what the sad thing about this is? Kobbie doing this now and his agent coming in and speaking to United and saying he wants to leave. This is all going to just put more and more pressure onto Bruno Fernandes. And he's going to be made the villain out of this. You can see how the fan base are going with it. But it's not Bruno's fault that Ruben Amorim is playing him in that position. Bruno is going to do anything for this team. We all know this. So the hate for Bruno, I think, should be deflected away from Bruno, and probably is more importantly, going towards Ruben Amorim. He's got to be adaptable to what we've got in this team. And yes, no manager wants to buckle under player pressure, but a tiny little bit, and you can still have these players and play your system. He always goes on about it not being a strict formation, and we never see a change in players. That, I think, is personally, I think, an issue for Ruben to deal with. And if he's willing to change it up and mix it up a little bit and adapt, now he's got rid of these pain-in-the-arse players, I think Kobbie fits in. I think he comes in. I do. I can see a world where we can get the same players on the pitch, just in a different formation, but with just different roles to do. Honestly, it's like, does Kobbie just want to play one style of play, like one way? I don't know. Can he adapt to a 6 like England were trying to do? I don't know. All different ways of, and different formations, different positions, different problems for Manchester United. If Kobbie Mainoo is saying that he's only going to play one position and that's what he wants to play at another football club, then we've got a problem. Kobbie has to go. If Ruben's willing to adapt and bring Kobbie in and do a slightly different role for him from his capabilities and the qualities that he's got, only Ruben would know that, then there's a way forward. But maybe Ruben just doesn't rate Kobbie Mainoo, and Ruben will be happy for him to leave. Maybe. Look, he said he's got a big plan for Kobbie Mainoo. I don't know what that plan is, but Kobbie's not willing to wait to see it. So that, I feel, is probably why Kobbie Mainoo is going to end up leaving Manchester United. One of two, Kobbie leaving or Ruben Amorim leaving, will be the outcome of this mess. I don't know which way you want it to go. I think that's one for you to answer in the comment section. Again, I'm going to come to that now. Is Xerxes asking for a transfer? ? I rest my case. He has only just come to the club, though, so I think we do need to bear that in mind as well on that one. Again, if you have been gifted one of the memberships by Gems, please make sure you put a big thank you in there. Let's just see now, in terms of this poll, we have had nearly 2,500 votes on the poll. Do you think Kobbie Mainoo is right to want to go out on loan? 69% of you feel he is right to go out on loan. That was at 71 at the start. It sort of fluctuated a little bit. I'm not convincing anyone that you should be thinking either way. This is just an open debate for all fans to have their opinion on right now. I think the only thing that we're all together on here is just the massive disappointment as to the situation that we're having to deal with right now. This is a nightmare for all Manchester United fans. We are literally in a right 2-8 right now. A massive state this football club is in, and I'm worried. I'm really worried for the future now. I had all of the hope and optimism from the transfer window, good players coming in, the start of the season, and now this and everything else that's going on. It's really starting to concern me. Please, by the way, pop your likes on the video. We have closing in on 500 already. Thank you very much if you have done, everyone. Please make sure you also hit that subscribe button as well. Let's get some more comments in on this. Let's mix it up a little bit. United should not even need a manager to beat Grimsby. The players should be able to beat them easily because they are all professionals, paid big money, train every day, play at elite level. I think we can all say that that is a definite as well. With funds coming in available, United should go back in for Labour. Something needs to happen in the window. James says, imagine you are Kobbie, you know you're a 10 and you're competing with another 10, the Portuguese captain in the number 8 position, which isn't even your position. Problem isn't Kobbie, it's Amorim. James there going in on Amorim on that one. Wesley has gifted 5 memberships as well. Thank you, Wesley, for that one. Please make sure you thank the people gifting the memberships in the chat, everybody. Adam, it's not a nightmare at all. If the player is good, the manager already played him regularly. It is a nightmare situation, mate. I mean, your opinion is that if Kobbie isn't good enough to play, he's not going to play him. I get that, but we're stuck now. We're stuck now with this situation where we've got 4 days to try and find a midfielder because Kobbie wants to leave. So that's the nightmare I'm talking about. The situation as it is right now, that's where we're at. In terms of the other news and everything that's going on as well, Malacia looks like it's a done deal to go on loan to Lecce from Italy. So Malacia is going to go out on loan again. no one buying him. I get no one really wanting to spend money on Manchester United players. Cal says, I agree it's on Amorim, but also I don't think Kobbie is as good as we think either. I think a few people have got that opinion, actually, on Kobbie. By the way, Anthony also is very, very close. Romano saying last night that this is now a hot deal and is on the brink of completion. So, yes, this, I think, could be another bit of news that we're bringing you today. So much to actually talk about right now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer getting sacked last night. Is that right? And what James has just said there as well? Has Jose Mourinho now been let go from his duties at Fenerbahce? We've got two former Manchester United managers who are now without a job. Erik ten Hag is not doing well at Leverkusen, and there are concerns there as well. What is it with people that manage Manchester United? Honestly, what's going on? It's crazy. Wesley's been 2 months a member now. Red Devils for life. Thank you very much, mates. Ant comes in, another super chat. Thank you, buddy. Kobbie doesn't fit this system, neither does Bruno. But Bruno is captain and a far more proven player. Kobbie needs to zip it and let his feet talk. I think the argument against that for a lot of people, and I see what you're saying there, Ant, as well, is will Kobbie get the chance to talk with his feet because Bruno's there? That, I feel, is a bit of a debate that's coming as well from this one. I don't understand people who back Amorim when he lost the Europa final, finished 50th, 7 wins from 29, no back-to-back wins in the Premier League, and lost against Grimsby. Any big club would have sacked him by now. Yep, I get that point. It is the ultimate argument against Ruben Amorim, and I just said a load of stats and backed up an argument that some people would have against Kobbie Mainoo. You could do exactly the same thing for Ruben Amorim. The stats and the facts don't lie. He's underperforming, if not more so than what Kobbie is as a player. You could argue that point all day long about Ruben Amorim. And if you're not convinced in the manager, you're a young player and you think that you're not going to get the game time, you start to get situations like this, and now Kobbie wants out. You're arguing against the right of a player to want to play and feel like he's hard done to, against your thoughts as a fan and how anybody would want to leave this football club. This is just the way that modern football works these days. It really is. Yeah, actually, it's a good point there made by Kaz. There's only Anthony and Sancho left now. We've got rid of Rashford, Malacia and Garnacho. So Anthony and Sancho, I think looking at that, not too bad. Anthony's going to go. It looks like Sancho is rethinking that Roma situation as well. So that's a decent thing to look at as well in this. Like, just to get them players gone, I think that's probably just as important as anything else going on right now. But it's just the actual bomb of Kobbie Mainoo wanting to leave Manchester United, which is hard to comprehend. It really is a strange situation right now with Manchester United and what's going on. Someone's saying their joint management team, bring Ollie and Jose back, 1 and 2 in charge. All of the mistakes and stories that they know about Manchester United, bringing them two back in as a joint management team. I seen people last night calling for Ollie to come back again. Oh, God, never go back. Kobbie Mainoo, as a talented local academy player, must stay at United and play for England. Remember, Kobbie was one of the best players in the last Euros. He was, but then again, he wasn't good last season for United. And players can drop in and out of form. It's whether or not you feel like he's worth fighting for. I feel like Kobbie Mainoo is worth fighting for, but if the player's not 100% on board with playing under Ruben Amorim, one or the other has to happen. Ruben stays and Kobbie leaves. We get another midfielder in. I think that's the most likely outcome at the moment. Or Ruben just gives up on this because players don't want to play for him and he cannot do what he wants. If he is going to stubbornly stand by the way that he wants things to work at Manchester United in his own philosophy and how it's always worked for him, then Ineos have to step in and make a decision and say it might be time for you to go. We've got players leaving left, right and centre because they can't work with your system. And this club is going to die and just completely fall away because nobody's on board with anything that's going on and they don't believe in you. Like, they have to step in at this point and look at the whole situation. We've got rid of the bad eggs. That's a really good thing for United right now. Them players have gone. That's it. Job done on that side of things. With Manchester United right now, I think this meeting and what's happening this weekend needs to be sorted out. Something needs to give either way, I feel, because it's only going to play on the other players. Like, imagine training today. Like, Kobbie's come out and said he wants to leave. Like, what's going on? What are the conversations with the players? Like, Kobbie's been there. He'll be going talking to Lenny Yoro and all the other players and his friends. And, like, bad blood definitely spreads quickly. And we've always said this. It's like a negative comment will always gain more traction than a positive one. It's like ratings. It's like when you leave a review online, nobody goes to look at the positive ones, do they? Everyone just levitates to the negative ones, and a negative needs 10 positives to outweigh it. If you've got one bad player who's not happy at the football club, it's going to affect everybody else. It's going to be a problem. And I just like, we was talking about this the other day. Jamie Carragher was talking about the Alexander Isak situation, and he said, look, when Fernando Torres was wanting to leave for Chelsea but didn't in the summer, we then had 4 months of hell with Torres in and around the club, and he then went in January, and it was a waste of time. That you cannot keep a player that doesn't want to be there. Something has to give. If Ruben walks, maybe Kobbie thinks he's got a chance. So Ineos need to be having these conversations right now. If they back Ruben Amorim, they need to let Kobbie go and bring somebody else in. That's my opinion. It's pointless trying to fight for Kobbie Mainoo. It is. Right now, if Ruben's staying, Kobbie's not going to get what he wants. And you're not going to get 100% Kobbie. So you have to make a call. And if Ruben stays, Kobbie goes. That's where I think we're at. Would you offer Kobbie a loan to Brighton for Baleba? 100% I would at this point, just to try and get something out of this. I would go down that road. Manny says Amorim had to get rid of 22 players at Sporting. He's not done yet, but he was being successful at the same time at Sporting. Manny, that's what we always need to remember, mate. United right now are slowly sinking into the abyss. And it doesn't matter how many players or what work he's doing, United need to get results. Otherwise, the pressure is just going to just continue to mount and mount and mount. And you're going to get more and more problems come from this. He's rubbish anyway. Goodbye, says Vipox92 with a comment. Thanks for renewing that membership as well, buddy. But some people not actually rating Kobbie Mainoo. Better to sell than loan and buy a new midfielder. There's a point. Would you sell Kobbie Mainoo outright? Are you happy with him wanting to leave United for a season and then come back afterwards? Would you sell him? Because United have said no to both. But there was stories coming out yesterday that United would only sell Kobbie Mainoo. They wouldn't loan him. He's a brilliant opportunity for somebody. And United are losing out here because they can't sell the player. I don't know if anyone's got any money right now to buy Kobbie Mainoo. And if he wants to go out on loan, United are going to lose a player for nothing and then still have to try and find money from somewhere to try and bring a replacement in, because there's not a chance in hell Manchester United can survive with... let's not forget, we loaned out Toby Collier, who was that City midfielder. All we will have is Bruno Fernandes, who isn't fit for purpose in this system, as we've seen. I'm not having a go at Bruno. He's a quality player, but there in that position, it's not working. That's clear for everyone to see. Casemiro and Agate. Agate has been a car crash so far this season. And Casemiro, if we're clinging on to him as our only hope in midfield for a full season, that maybe the club are looking at it now, and we're not in the EFL Cup now either. We haven't got that many games. My God. It is kind of a desperate situation, isn't it? Barry says, I'd sell Kobbie abroad. Don't get me wrong. I want to keep him. But if he goes for the love of God and not to a Prem side, Get rid of the academy ethos. The players are entitled and expect special treatment. Adapt the Chelsea model and buy talent. The academy record is overrated. Good workers / players need to adapt with their company environment and target. If they could not adapt, please find other company. Simple as that. A lot of people have the opinion that he should just go elsewhere. If they can't hack it, then off you go. It is. Okay, in all of this, you've still got to deal with the Andre Onana situation and everything like that. Samuel Luckhurst again this morning tweeting out, Manchester United players consider the humiliating League Cup defeat to Grimsby Town to be a new low, and confidence is dwindling in their first and second choice goalkeepers. Dwindling. Like, there was no confidence in these goalkeepers from the start. United still no nearer, according to the reports at the moment, to signing Sen Lammens. That deal is still ongoing and still being talked about. United we've got the goalkeeping situation to deal with and the midfield situation to deal with. On top of this, catastrophe performances from the goalkeepers now and not knowing what to do. United are going to end up with 4 goalkeepers at the football club when they only wanted to have the 3, and maybe one would leave and another come in. So that's gone. That's gone out the window, and that plan has gone. They were expecting Kobbie Mainoo to stay. That plan's gone out the window because now he's come out, like we said today, and wanting to leave Manchester United. Lots and lots of work to get through, and it's going to be a mad weekend. I can tell you that for nothing. A mad weekend. What do Manchester United do now from this point? People saying, do we go for Donnarumma? Too much money. Wages are too high. I don't think United want to go there. What would you do right now? Would you go out and buy another midfielder and just let Kobbie Mainoo go? Get into the comment section on this, please, everybody. Are we just saying, look, he doesn't want to be here, let's let him go and revisit this? If United are refusing a loan, the mess of the situation, United have said no to this, by the way. Let's not forget that. We've not spoken about that. United have denied him the chance to go on loan. So what happens here now? I kind of believe in what Indy Kelly is saying, that United behind the scenes are now looking for a midfielder because they know Kobbie Mainoo is going to leave. This is very, very important couple of days for United. No matter which way you look at it, everything that is flashing up on my screen right now, there's so much going on. The Jose Mourinho firing is right up there with what's going on at Manchester United's academy. All of the Kobbie Mainoo news, Andre Onana, the goalkeepers, another midfielder coming in. So much talk of what Manchester United are going to do from here. But again, I kind of lean towards Kobbie Mainoo will end up getting his loan away from United. Doesn't want to leave the football club, but doesn't want to fight this season against Bruno Fernandes. That's how you have to look at it, isn't it? Because that's what Ruben has said he's got to do. And if he's not up for that, then United, I feel, have to let him go. I do think that we have to just let Kobbie go at this point and hopefully bring somebody else in. I don't know, like, of all of the 15, 16 clubs that Romano is talking about that could take Kobbie Mainoo right now, I don't know how far down the line conversations are or what's been said. We only know really about the El Nazar one about the loan, and that's come from Ben Jacobs because he obviously is the Saudi football expert. But how do you deal with this? Actually, just to summarise everything, just to break it down, after everyone's conversations, everyone's comments, thank you, by the way, everybody. It's not an easy subject to talk about this because we all have a look on things. There's different sides to the argument. Kobbie's side, the club side, Ruben's side, what's actually going on in football in general, to be honest, I think comes up more than anything right now. But I think looking at it, it can only go one of two ways. Manchester United say it's Kobbie or Ruben. And that sounds pathetic, doesn't it? It really does. It shouldn't be that way, but that's how this is playing out for me. And now all of a sudden, you've got a player there that doesn't want to be there. Does that mean that he's definitely not going to play against Burnley tomorrow? Is he going to be punished and it's going to cause more of a problem? Or does it look like Ruben's weak if he then puts Kobbie Mainoo in against Burnley? Again, I'm so angry and frustrated with this football club at the moment. And that's what oozes out of me. That's where I feel the fans have been let down. The club is in such a state, and there's no good way out of this. That's what I'll say. There's no good way out of this. I don't want Kobbie to leave. I want Kobbie to leave. I want him to prevail. I want him to become the player we know he can be. He hasn't been great for United, and I can see Ruben's stance on it. But player power is still there at every single football club, but more at Manchester United. And while they've got these agents in their ears, pecking away, saying you should be getting this, this, and this, then there is always going to be a problem internally. And at Manchester United right now, while the football is crap on the pitch, it's going to look 20 times worse for us than it is anywhere else. Just remember that this is something that happens at every club, but because it's United, it gets reported about more. It's just that this summer has been one of them freak summers where everything seems to be right at the forefront of disaster. I just wish we'd actually got better results, and then this conversation wouldn't have been as doom and gloom as it is. A couple more comments just before we finish up. He won't be playing versus Burnley. Bruno will play always. Would be playing even if Kobbie scored 8 versus Grimsby. Had have been dropped for the Golden Boy. The manager hiding from the pens is a sackable offence. Never mind his system and tactics being the easiest to play against the Premier League in Premier League history. TVN says, agree mate, a loan will make it harder for Kobbie to compete with when he's back. The club will invest in a suitable profiles for a midfielder, which Kobbie at the moment is not. That's a conversation there. That's the problem you've got right there. If Kobbie goes out on loan and Ruben survives, is Kobbie's future finished anyway? Because Ruben's going to be thinking, well, you didn't want to play for me. Kobbie fully thinks that Ruben's not going to last. Well, his agent does. That's how you look at it, isn't it? Because if Ruben survives the season after Kobbie leaves, then Kobbie's done at United. Because he's not going to come back in and play for Ruben again, is he? And Ruben's not going to play him after what he's done now. So I think it's, again, it just adds to the issue. I think if United get rid of Kobbie, you probably got to sell him and bring someone else in. Just cut your losses. Take the hit right now on this whole situation. There's no good way out of it at all. There's not one easy way out of this. And that, I think, is the overwhelming feeling right now amongst every United fan. Just like no one can make their mind up as to what is right. But I think a big decision is made. I do believe... I'm not. I'm still not convinced either way. I can see Ruben walking. I can see Kobbie staying. I can see Ruben staying and United forced to sell Kobbie Mainoo. I can see all of the different situations right now. But yeah, everything all together, a nightmare and a mess. I'm going to wrap things up there, everyone. Thank you so much. Not an easy conversation to have. I appreciate patience. I know people have had a go at me. I know people don't agree with my opinion all the time. I did get one stat wrong at the top of the show on the final, but everything else that I said is relevant and right. Apologies for getting that one stat wrong. I'm not building up a defence against Kobbie Mainoo here at all. I think I broke down everything that's happening right now in full with stats backing Kobbie and stats going against Kobbie, and the same for Ruben Amorim. Overall, it's down to the club. The club have created this mess from whichever way you look at it, and they're the ones that are going to have to make the call and deal with it. Big decisions need to be made. Ruben Amorim's press conference coming up later on, everybody, so I'll be with you for that. Make sure that you do get your comments in below on this as well once the video's finished its live. Thank you for all the contributions. Hello, 11 new members on the show alone. Thank you for the gifted ones, particularly on that. All the super chats. Mods, fantastic job. I know it's not easy when there's thousands of comments piling through the comment section. Just to bring up the poll result, do you think Kobbie Mainoo is right to want to go out on loan? 69% of you with over 3,000 votes have said yes, Kobbie Mainoo is right to want to leave Manchester United right now. It's piling on pressure on Ruben, in my opinion, this right now, and that's where that argument is going. That's it, everybody. Thank you. I'll be back later on, obviously, with all the breaking news and Ruben Amorim's press conference. Make sure that you're there later on. Get your comments in. Give the video a like. Please hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 99k next, and then more giveaways. Check out the description for all of our partners, including the shirts and retro replicas. Match bingo for this weekend. Big weekend. And, of course, our new fantasy football game as well. That is there in the description. Top link there, everybody. Get involved in that for the Burnley game. That is an FUTV special.